lineup changes tonight?
Yeah, so Kapanen's going to come out and Perun will come out. Tucker will go in and Alexandrov. And then Bannister's in that. So.
With Kapanen, I mean, what would you have liked to see better the last few games?
Well, I think he's a player. He's a good hockey player for us, and we need to see more. There's some instances in the game where I feel like he's trying to force things, and less is more right now for him. So I think this is a time where he can kind of reset his game a little bit and get back to playing the hockey that we need from him, because we can't have him in the stands. Like he's too good of a hockey player. But in the same instance, if players, and Cappy's no different, if players aren't going to play the way we need them to, then whether it's missing a shift or sitting out for a period or finding themselves in the stands, like that's the direction we're going to have to go in.
I want to ask you about Jake Neighbours. Obviously, Edmonton fans know him well from his days here in junior, but looks like he's been just taking his game to a new level.
Yeah, Jakey's consistency in his game in the last month to 6 weeks here, he's really taken off. He's turned into a real good NHL player. There's a lot of good things in his game. Good two-way player, but the offensive side is certainly coming for him. I think he's got 19 goals now. He gets a lot of his goals around the net. He goes to the hard areas. He gets rewarded for it.
He's a real character guy too. I guess does that kind of bring out.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the captain of the team here in his last year, and great leadership qualities for a young player. Does everything the right way. Brings a lot of energy to the room. Real good teammate. Sticks up for his teammates. So a lot of potential there moving forward, not only off the ice but on the ice, and what he does and what he brings to our team.
Drew, I was coming in the Oilers in '97. You were on the team. What do you remember of the playoff against Dallas?
Yeah, it was a great run. Yeah, I remember the last goal. I remember some of the injuries that we had in that series, and guys fighting through. But it was a good time to be part of the organization and be part of that run and that series.
I remember Ronnie Lowe saying he wasn't sure whether he should go and hug Cujo or Toddy when he scored the goal.
That big save that he made on Nieuwendyk, and then it goes the other way not too far later, and someone that doesn't score a lot, got a lot of breakaways, that didn't score a lot, puts it in the back of the net. But that was a pretty exciting time.
Who were you playing with then as a partner? Because you played all.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was playing with Kevin, but Kevin was injured at that point, and then Mush went out. I think it must have been in the first game. I think he went out with the injury. So, obviously, I think it was Boris Mironov and Luke played a lot. So they were moving a lot of different guys, because there was a young group of us, myself and Dan McGillis, and I'm trying to think of the other guys who were there at that time. But it was three young guys and kind of 2 or 3 older guys that were kind of mixed in the group and got an opportunity to play, and it was a fun time, like I said.
You were really young. You're 22. Was it
22.
a shock?
It was a big shock, because I got traded on the plane. And back then there wasn't a lot of cell phones. It was the phones in the back of the seats, if you remember that. That's a long time ago. I found out from one of the media that because we were in the air when the deadline passed, and he must have called in and found out. So he kind of hinted to me. He didn't want to tell me, but then I got off the plane, and I think Terry got the phone call and let me know that I was traded to Edmonton. So
because you were the second pick in Tampa in the first year in the league.
Yeah, so Roman Hammerlick was the first pick that year, and then I was the second pick, I think 26th overall that year.
And then Slats traded you in Anaheim.
Right after the morning skate for Bobby Dallas. So we switched. Bobby didn't play that game, but I grabbed my stuff and went over to the other room and jumped on the ice.
There's not much walk from the dressing room to Anaheim.
The 2 times that I was traded, they were strange trades for sure.
With Kevin Hayes, what's kind of his path forward to getting back to his game?
I mean, I talked to Hazy this morning. I think he's got to simplify his game, stopping and starting on pucks. he's somebody that I respect a lot. He cares a lot about the team. He cares a lot about his teammates. But I think, and he's not the only one. We need more from certain guys, and Hazy's one of those guys.
How's the coverage supposed to work on that first goal against last night?
Sorry?
How's the coverage supposed to work on the first goal?
I think the coverage started with the lost puck battle in the slot. Like, we had 3 guys to their 1 guy around, and we lost the puck battle. And as it went down the wall, it was our D had to release into the slot to I think it was Monahan that got that shot off. So we got caught with our 2 D net front there, and they just have to flex out to that play.
Okay, with Kapanen coming out, the other 3 lines stay the same, or is there kind of?
I'm going to mix around a little bit. Like, I don't know exactly how it'll go, but there'll be a little bit of mixing, but kind of go back to similar lineup that we had when we played Edmonton at home with the lines.
And then Tucker goes on the third pair.
Yes, yeah, he'll play with Scandy.
What time did you think, I want to be a coach?
Probably, last year, my last 3 or 4 years playing, like, I started to get heavily involved in minor hockey in Sudbury, in my hometown. Was out with a lot of the minor hockey programs, started getting my coaching levels in the summertime when I came back. My last 2 years, I played over in the UK, and I was player coach. So it was great. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot from it. Started doing my HP1 and my HP2 at that time. And then I had the opportunity, while I was still signed and going back to the UK, I applied for a job in Owen Sound under Dale DeGray, and was lucky enough to get an assistant coaching job and kind of mentor from there.
Did the UK seem like a million miles from the NHL?
Yeah, but I still wanted to be part of the game. I was still playing, and I was still playing well for that league, I guess. But the intriguing part was being able to put together a team and run a budget, which I had to do myself. So I had a budget. I had to go out and find my players, and then once it was running practice and being involved in practice is something that's you got a whistle on your glove, you're doing the drills and blowing the whistle and jumping in and doing it. So it was a good experience for me, and it was a good learning experience.
Drew, just real quick about the team, what you're seeing, what you want to see more of regarding how things are going right now.
Yeah, a lot of inconsistency in our game. Even since we played Edmonton, we thought we played a fairly good game there, but there's some holes in our game that have creeped up here. There was times yesterday where we played well. We didn't start well. We can't find ourselves down 3-1 against any team in the NHL. The league's just too good. So our starts have to be a lot better. I thought our second period push was good. We got ourselves back in that game, made it 3-2. And then we just, we have to find a better level of play and more push in the third period when we put ourselves in that position.
They always say, as a coach, he's a player.
Yeah.
Would you qualify Neighbors as that sort of guy? He's just a player.
He is just a player. He's a hockey player, and he loves to play the game. He enjoys being in the dressing room, and as a young player, he brings a ton of energy. All those young players do. They love being here. They love the opportunity to play in the NHL, and Jake is making the most of it.
Robert Thomas had 34 face-offs last night.
I thought Robbie played really well last night. Like that, that line in itself, even with Jordan, like they had a great response. Obviously, the game before in Detroit was a tough game for them, for our team. But I liked the response by that line.
Was it just circumstances to put him out for that many face-offs, or you just wanted to keep him going?
I thought as a whole, like, our team was decent on face-offs, but I just, he was going pretty good. His energy levels was pretty good. He wanted to be on the ice, and you wanted your best players to be on the ice. Whether it's offensive zone starts or defensive zone starts. Like Robbie's been our best player all year. So the more I can have him on the ice, the better for us.
Draisaitl playing with Connor on a line. How does that, as a coach?
Yeah, we didn't see. We saw that a little bit in St. Louis where he put them together. So I know they started them again in LA. Obviously, I watched the game. We were in Winnipeg, so I was able to sit down and watch the game and saw that. I don't think it matters where they play. They're both dangerous players. Like, we have to be aware of it. Certainly, them playing together, we're going to be more aware of them on the ice at the same time. But certainly. two dangerous hockey players that, you know, we're going to have to limit their time and space and the quality of chances that they get. They are going to get chances. We just got to make sure that.
Would you say when they're on the same line, you like to play sometimes the center against Connor and the center against Leon, but then you have further down the lineup, then maybe you have an advantage because they're on the same line.
I don't know. I think Edmonton has a pretty deep team regardless of where those guys play. Like this is a good hockey team that we're playing today. We have to be aware of all four lines that they have tonight. But you know, it depends. I mean, he has last change, so I don't know how he wants to play our team. I guess that'll be dictated at the opening face-off.